Hey guys, welcome to another episode of A Gov Limited series. This is where we talk all things prisons, criminal justice, and the Black community as a whole. So let's get right into it. Today, I have a special guest. I've come and done my big one with this one. Well, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi guys. So I'm T, also known as Miss A, and I don't know what to say. Thanks for having me, babe.
Yeah. She was a former prison officer.
Yes,
that's
I
what she's
was.
calling herself, Miss A.
Yeah.
And fun fact, we worked in the same prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we worked in the same prison.
Down and dirty.
So we have a lot to talk about. But
Yes.
before we get into that, I thought we should play a little game.
Okay.
Okay. It is called Would You Rather. I've got 3 questions. Okay. 3 scenarios.
Let's go.
You need to give me your answer and why.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Okay,
let's get into it.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, cool. Would you rather get assaulted by a prisoner or be taken hostage by a VP?
A VP, by the way, is a vulnerable person. And what I mean by that, we're talking about rapists, we're talking about transgenders, ex-prison officers, police officers.
And prison officers.
Would I rather be taken hostage by a VP or assaulted by a prisoner?
Yeah.
Assault me. Sorry. Hello. Hi.
Why?
Excuse me? No. Because I don't know what you're capable of doing to me if you take me hostage. And being assaulted, I feel like... How bad is the assault though?
As in you're going to hospital.
Oh? How long am I in that cell for being taken hostage? No, you need to give me a bit more.
Nah, I can't. What would you rather? Get assaulted or be taken hostage?
Get assaulted.
You know what? I would rather be taken hostage, you know? You know why?
By VP.
Because I have my baton. There's only one person coming out alive and I guarantee you it's going to be me.
But if there's you in a cell, you're doomed. You're doomed.
But I feel like someone's getting to you. And imagine if you get assaulted and you're just never the same. How many people have gone and assaulted and you don't?
That's true. Yeah. Sorry, still take assault. I
can't
think of being in the cell with a VP like for hours and they'll be telling me all the things that they do. No, I'm not doing that.
But imagine it's not hours though. By the time
you don't know that though. You don't know that.
Have you ever seen a hostage situation whilst in prison?
I haven't. Have I?
Remember when I almost got taken hostage?
You told me about that.
And then he was on your wing for a bit.
I don't think I ever have seen anyone be taken hostage, to be fair. No, not my wing anyways. Very unlikely.
Okay then. Okay, we have conflicting views on that one.
Yes.
I just feel like I'll fight for my life. I'll fight.
2 in a cell? 2 VPs?
But to be fair, VPs don't actually...
Babe, you were talking about young VPs too, by the way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
All right, then. Question number 2. Okay, would you rather be on command mode for 5 hours after a 6 p.m. shift?
Okay.
Or work on the wing, day trip on the wing with the worst prison officers? Like, you don't know the prisoners.
Day trip on the wing with the worst prison officers.
And you don't know the prisoners.
It's fine, I'll run the wing.
I like that.
I've done it before. I'm good.
I like that.
Confident in my craft.
Period.
I'll run the wing. Yeah, I'm fine.
Period.
Sorry. Command mode for 5 hours after 6 p.m. What time am I getting home? No, thank you. Let me deal with the prison. Let me deal with that shift on that wing with officers I don't know and prisoners I don't know. They'll end up knowing about me by the end of the shift anyway, so I'm good.
We love that.
I'm confident of that.
T for SO.
Yeah, because no, I'm not doing that. No, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like that's the same.
Right?
Yeah. I just feel like
how many times have we day tripped on the wing that we don't...
Yeah, and you're working with the worst type of...
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
like, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And like half of the time you'll be put on like exercise or get the trolley because obviously you're not familiar with that wing anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Story of our lives, really, you know. No shade.
Yeah, no shade. Okay, the last question is: would you rather your wig fall off and then restrain and not be able to find it, or would you rather lose your purse and your driving license is inside?
Can I just say something? As a black woman that wears wigs and frontals and closures, that was my biggest fear.
Same.
And I remember telling my prisoners, like,
Same.
I don't want to get into any restraints because my wig will come off, guys. I'm not in anyone's mood. I made that very clear, my guys. I'd say let the wig fall off. Sorry, my driver's license.
Not be able.
No, because I'll have my address.
Your address.
They'll have my full name. They could open up accounts. They could send people to my house. My poor mum, she won't be able to fight by herself. No.
Yeah.
No, wig.
The wig.
I will literally say I can't come into work because I'm in distress. I can't breathe. I'm finding it difficult to do my everyday chore. Like, no, wig. Any day.
Yeah.
Any
wig.
day.
Because security measures, you did some psychos.
Yeah, no. Yeah, wig, any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
I agree.
God, that was my biggest fear, you know.
Yeah. Getting my wig.
That was I remember I had to, like, every morning I had to, like, glue my wig down just in case. So you just never know. I could go into work and not be on my wing. I could be put on another wing. And, like, anything could happen. That was, like, my biggest fear.
Or headband. Tightly.
See, my headband wasn't even tight, bro. I was winging it.
No, sometimes you were actually living life on that.
I was winging it. Like, yeah, cool, I'm here now. If my wig comes off, it comes off.
But I feel like sometimes when you don't have it secure, but you know you're working on your wing, you can actually tell the guys to actually relax.
Do you not listen to what I said? I used to tell them, if my wig comes off, I will not be happy. Calm down. Everyone needs to calm down. Like, that was my big thing because I didn't want my wig to come off.
Right then. Yeah, so let's get into the segment of the podcast.
Yes.
Like, we're not going to say the prison that we worked in,
not.
just for they are protection security purposes,
yes,
and based on
please.
the things that we will be discussing today is a bit, you know, some people may still be in the prison.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, we worked in the prison service together.
Yes.
I started first.
Yes,
and then I think I thought we was in the gym. When we had this.
Can I just say I'll never forget? But every time I go on a treadmill, I think about our conversation.
Yeah, like it was in one day after work, I think, and we were like, let's go to the gym.
Yeah.
I remember it was on the treadmill, and then I remember you telling me that you're applying to be a prison officer.
Yes. And where was I supposed to go? Thamesmead.
You used to go Thameside.
Thameside. Yeah, not Thamesmead. Thameside.
Yeah, and I was like, no, girl, I've tried Thameside. The ghetto. I was like, girl, get your ass.
She set me up.
She set me up. Get your ass here right now, because I'm tired of being the only young black female prison officer. I don't want to do it no more. So I feel like you should come with me, so I'm not alone anymore.
Yeah, I feel like
so why did you?
It definitely played in your favor.
Yeah,
you knew what you was doing by saying that, and I feel like when we was on the treadmill, you used to tell me like you used to tell me things basically, and I used to get angry because I'm thinking, what, like, how is that going on in your jail? Like, what's going on, sort of thing. So I think that definitely played in your favor because it's like you've got your friend of how many years, over decades, coming to work in the same prison as you. And yeah, I mean, how I felt, I thought, yeah, let me just go for it, really.
But why, even before because you was going to work in a prison regardless.
Yeah,
so what actually made you want to go and work
I think for me, it was more wanting to actually experience and see what it was all about and seeing how I could be an asset to everything that was going on. Especially with my background, obviously studying what I studied in uni and having an interest in the criminal justice itself. I felt, well, rather than going down the probation side, let me just go to the prison service, see what goes on in the prison service, and then if I feel like I need to go and dive into the probation aspect of things, that I will be able to. But I thought, let me go for the prison service, and then that's why I thought, I think literally just my background really, and my interest in the criminal justice.
Okay. So how was your rapport with prisoners?
If I do say so myself, it was good. It was fine. Like, I feel like my personality definitely came out. Like, it was easy for me to just adapt, you know. During my time on my wing, my first wing,
what type of wing did you work on?
Induction.
Okay.
So what that means is every single prisoner that comes into the prison service in my prison will be coming through me first. They go on my wing first. Yeah, so I get to see them first.
But
I get to see them first. So I was on an induction wing. So like when I say prisoners were changing, like you were changing your panties, like
Yeah.
I was getting new prisoners. We'll get you in, do the pack, send you off to the wing that you're supposed to be on and stuff. My report of the prisoners, I think it went really well.
But how was it like? Obviously, you're basically the first faces that they see. Some of them have never been to prison before.
Yeah.
Like, what like kind of emotions did you actually see? Like, did you see people genuinely scared to be in prison? Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, people were, especially when it's like gang violence. You don't know who's on the wing. They're trying to decipher what wing they want to go to because where their friends are, and they're trying to talk
Story
to
of
you
my life.
and trying to, you know, get you to pattern them to get them on a certain wing because this certain person is there. Like, how was that?
I feel like it played in my favor, and the reason why I say that is because everyone wanted to come on my wing because I had like the boys. I call them the boys. I had the boys on my wing, so everyone wanted to come on my wing. So when they were on induction, they would try and like say, "Oh, Miss A, like I beg you, pattern me this." I'm like,
so they would want to stay and move to a different spur.
Yeah.
Not move
to my spur.
Okay, yeah.
And they'll be like, "Oh, Miss A, I beg you, pattern this." You know, when they go like that, I beg you. And I used to be like, "Sorry,
you listening?
You need to calm down, okay? It's my wing. I need to know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come onto my wing and mess things up because I've got a very good flow on my wing. So that was like my main thing when it came to people asking me whether they could move to my spur. I've come across a ton of different people, different emotions, people that genuinely were scared to be in prison. I'm talking about YOs, you know, I'm talking about grown men, first ever, you know, time being in prison.
They've been a criminal for a long time and they got caught.
Yeah,
they're in prison.
Really. Like, this was like the genesis for them, and I felt like I had to make the first impression of being a prison officer to them. So give them like a good experience, actually being attentive to what it is that they want to talk about or what they need, letting them know the realness of it. Like whatever you ask, you may not get it there and then. So you need to be patient with us. And also letting them know that you may like the staff here, but just know that when you go on another wing, staff are different there. Don't expect to meet out of somebody else, you know. So I think that made it quite hard for them to even want to move off the wing because they get comfortable with our staff. So yeah, I think my report other than that was like really good, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay, so more to this question, how do you feel like being black, a black female, how did it basically be an advantage? Like, how did it work to your advantage?
It worked to my advantage.
Elaborate.
So our prison, without naming where it is in a predominantly white area.
Yeah.
White prison officers, to be precise. The guys that were in that prison were from South London, North London, East London. We had a lot of black prisoners. A lot of black prisoners. A lot of black prisoners.
Honestly.
With not many black staff. So automatically, and I think we'll probably talk about it later on in terms of like my experience of being a black female officer in a prison service, but in terms of like challenging them, how I would challenge them, and not being questioned, played in my favor, because if somebody else did that, who are you talking to?
Box in the face, commotion, general alarm.
But for me, I felt like they were able to understand how I was addressing things. Maybe because of my background, where I'm from, how I've grown up, etc. But in terms of like not being a victim of being assaulted, I can tell you hands down, I've never been assaulted. 3 years in a prison service, I've never ever been assaulted, assaulted, and I definitely feel like being a black woman definitely played. Like,
I would say that literally the guys that were running the wing, the guys that once you had their respect, you could never ever, even if I was to say something crazy, just like, raw, like, miss, you're moving mad, but they will be like, listen, we're protecting her at all costs. Like, even if they see somebody that's new or doesn't really know who you are like that, and they try and talk crazy to you.
I've definitely had that.
Who are you actually talking to?
I've had that.
Like, who you actually talking to?
I've had that. And do you know what? Even like thinking about it now, it's crazy how people just get put in their place for thinking that they could speak to you in a certain manner. Because if the guys that are on my wing for X amount of months or a year cannot think to speak to me like that, what makes you think that you that's new to my wing can address me like that?
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like they were expecting that response. I feel like when you speak to them in a certain way, they are very taken aback. It's just like,
As in the prisoners?
yeah, the prisoners are very taken aback, like, raw, like, she's really not
Yeah.
on, she's on no nonsense. Like,
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
even try
Oh.
it. I
was
can't
strict.
try it.
I was
Like,
strict.
I feel like we were cool, but we were strict. I feel like
I was strict, but the boys knew what it was.
Yeah.
Like, they knew, like, you know, like, for
Yeah.
example, when I had to, like, so in our jail, we had to, it had to be 2 staff or 3 staff maximum on the spur, right?
Yeah.
There'll be times where in the morning I'll be by myself, or when it's time to bang up, I'll be by myself. I used to make it very clear, guys, when I'm telling you to bang up, it's time to bang up
immediately.
Don't
Take the piss.
don't take the piss.
Yeah.
Like, especially, you know, if you know how I am.
Yeah.
I'm very cool. I'm cool. I'm understanding. You know, even if you're not my wing worker, I'll still, if you ask me, Miss, can I just top up? I'll be all right, cool, hurry up, be quick, don't take the piss. And they genuinely won't take the piss because they know that I give them that.
You give them that grace. And I feel
If
like
you cross that and you disrespect me,
never again.
don't ever in your life think
me.
to ask me to come out again, because you will wait until it's time to. Until this association time.
And I feel like that just leads on to my next question. Like, what used to like piss you off about prison? What was your pet peeve about prison?
Smoking while I'm on shift. You're taking the absolute piss.
You respect me.
You're taking the piss.
You
like,
actually respect me.
And this is the thing, and I used to say to them, I'd be like, the last thing you want is for me to
catch you.
You don't want me to catch you. You don't want your cell to get spun neither. And you don't want the spur to be locked off because you're being stupid. Prison is prison. I get that. Staff, family, friends will bring illicit things into the prison into the prison itself. I get that. I know that. I'm very much aware about that.
We're very much aware.
But don't take the piss. Don't do that. Don't do that, because then it's questioning me as an officer.
Yeah.
You know, people, my SO and my CM will look at me and think, why? How come your spur? Can you not smell that? What are you doing about that? Why are they so comfortable to do that?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Well, there was an experience when you was running. Do you want to talk about that story time when you was running the wing and you caught a certain somebody?
Gosh, yeah. So, you know, I was being Miss A, let all my workers, you know, telling them, guys, just do the job and then just chill. I have no issues with you chilling. I don't have an issue with you gymming on the wing.
Job, yeah, once you've done it.
Once you do your job and I know you've done it and I can tick it off, I'm cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know? And it got to a point where I saw all my workers. I let off my hot spur lot, my hot plate lot off my spur. And then, you know, my wings are nice and cleaned. And then I thought, wait, the showers are not cleaned. What is going on here?
What is going on?
So I've, you know, myself, I'm walking up the stairs to the freeze landing. And I've pushed the cell door open. And what do I see? Lo and behold, one of my boys, my shower cleaner, wrapped up, so comfortable by the way, wrapped up with his duvet on his iPhone. I don't know if he was on Instagram. I don't know if he was on Snapchat. I don't know if he's messaging with FaceTime. He's just there looking. I said, excuse me? I was like, excuse me? Excuse me?
What was the look on his face?
I think he thought it was his cellmate. So he didn't really, until I said, excuse me? I think he had a heart attack. And he sat up and I said, hey, right. I said, okay, think, what are you going to do?
What was it? What was your mind?
I can't lie, my initial thing was, it's either this guy's coming to do a one-on-one and probably punch me. So I thought, I'm going to take a step back. I'm ready. I'm in the stance mode now. I'm ready. So I've left a bit of space on the side just in case I needed to like run off or whatever. And I'll say why I did what I did and what the prisoners actually said to me after I, you know, saw them after this incident. The guy jumped off his bed. He was on the top bunk. He jumped off. I'm thinking, okay, T, it's ready. One-on-one. He's going to punch me. I'm going to have to fight. And I don't want to fight. He just ran. And what did I do? I ran. I followed him. I ran with him.
No, but wait, was you not like thinking to press your general alarm? Or
see, this is the thing.
Or was your mind just like...
This is the thing. And the boys were telling me, Miss A, like, why did you not press the general? Like, how can, like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I said, I will do what I want to do.
So you chased him?
I chased him. Because to be fair though, in my defense, I said to him, look, let's not cause a scene. Hand the phone over. Like, I'm telling you that. Rather than me calling my staff just to make a commotion, because I know that it'll probably end up in a restraint anyways.
Yeah.
I thought, let me use my Miss A advantage and be like, all right, cool, I've caught you now. There's no running away. You know you shouldn't have that iPhone. You should be cleaning my showers. Give me the phone. Hand it over. Let's not cause a scene. He was looking around doing this. He was looking.
Who's he? Was he trying to intimidate you? What?
See, I think he was trying to think about how he was going to deal with it, because if he wanted to, he could have really gone in for me. He could have done anything. He could have pushed the door closed for me to stop getting inside and stuff. But he was like doing this, looking around. So I thought, okay, like think fast. So if he throws a punch, you're gonna try and dodge it, and then personal
alarm,
and he didn't. He ran. That gap that I left between the door and my foot, he ran, and me too. I ran from the threes to the twos to the ones back to the twos, and then in the end, I thought, like, that's it. It's enough now. I'm not gonna chase you around. You're not my child. And then my SO saw me. She's like, hey, what's going on? I said, he's got a phone, we've got to get it. So he went into where the kiosk was. The kiosk? Is that what we call it?
Kiosk room.
The kiosk room. And it ended up being a general alarm. Got in there and he smashed the phone. We ended up putting him in restraint or whatever. Took him to the seg. And at this point, I had to unlock the whole spare for food.
I just remember that general alarm.
I remember you came running, didn't you?
Remember, every time it was one of our house blocks and we knew that we were on shift.
It was,
no
and
matter
they said
what.
They said B-spare.
No matter what, everybody knew. If Miss A is on shift, don't freaking run, because I am run. Even if you run, me, I'm running. At the end of the day,
true, you know.
Guys, we used to tell prisoners that we were sisters, even prison officers that we were sisters, and that lie actually went on for a while.
A very long time
till the end. Like, a lot of people actually thought we were sisters.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, she's Frenchie. So it was easy to like confuse them because she speaks French, and obviously I'm Congolese. So when we're speaking French to each other, they're just like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, how, like, what is going on? Because for them, it's probably not a common French Ghanaian. They're just like, huh? Like,
they would never think I'm
like,
Ghanaian.
Yeah, they would never think it. So when she will start speaking French to me, and I'm speaking French, they're like, wow, like, of course, they're sisters. And we used to tell staff that, listen, all these staff, you think every black person was related in that place, to be fair. So we could literally, but yeah, it was a thing that if I heard her house block, I'm running. If she heard mine, she's there
through the door.
Like,
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows. Don't
like, even the prisoners knew. Like, especially because when the general alarm goes off, we see you hear like the noise or whatever. They're like, general alarm, house block 6, and I'm like, Miss A, your sister. Through the door. Everyone knew. The prisoners knew. When it comes to house block 6, as soon as they hear the house block, they're like, yeah, Miss A is going. Like, that's it, I'm gone. But the prisoners, when they came out after that incident, they were like, Miss A, like, don't put yourself in that position. Like, you never know. There could be someone, not saying any of us will do it, but there could be a day where somebody just don't think logically and just end up going at you, and we wouldn't want that to happen. And I said, you know, I actually respect you guys for saying that, and I actually appreciate it. At that moment in time, I wasn't thinking of pressing my general alarm. I thought, I'm gonna get the phone without causing a scene. And then I'm then gonna, you know, nick you for what you've done. You're gonna get nicked regardless, you know.
Do you feel like out of that situation, some of the prisoners had a different, because of you being black, did they think that you was gonna turn a blind eye?
Oh yeah, I had his cellmate say, Miss A, why did you do that? I said, why did I do what? He goes, oh, why didn't you just like
but why do you feel like, why do you think that they thought that you would turn a blind eye? Do you feel like it's to do with your race or how you are? Like, what is it that you would just allow them and them? Like, what was it?
Definitely my race. They probably felt that surely I must understand.
Yeah.
You know?
A sense of entitlement, maybe?
100%.
Yeah.
155%.
Yeah.
And like, and one thing about me, I have no issue with challenging people.
Yeah.
You say something that I don't agree with, I would challenge you. How we got about it after is down to you. But I definitely I said, don't you ever in your life say that to me. And from then, those two had issues with me until I moved them off my spur.
Yeah.
They didn't like the fact that I'd, you know, managed to get the phone. I put him on basic and I got him nicked.
I feel like when people think because we're about the culture, we can talk about similar things, or we know certain things that go on, or we, I don't know, have similar lingo, they just think that we're just gonna like allow it. Like, hello, okay, I get it. We're black women. We're black. Yes, we get it. But at the end of the day, we're here to do a job.
100%.
Like, it doesn't. There's nothing.
And it depends on the kind of officer that you are, though, isn't it? Because, like, I mean, a lot of black female officers can get twanged into what the boys do, what the boys say.
Yeah,
it depends on your character and your personality, really. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll get into that. So much to unpack.
Yeah,
Lord help me.
gosh.
So, how did you deal with prisoners? As you said, you had a good rapport with prisoners. Like, you know, you was Miss A on the wing. How did you deal with prisoners getting over friendly?
Oh, there's no such thing on my wing.
Or what boundaries did you put in place to ensure
my
that
boundaries were there
that
from the
did
minute
not-
I stepped foot on that wing,
didn't
without me knowing any of the prisoners. To be fair, they all said to me, Miss A, we thought you was mad rude, like you had a lot of attitude. And I said, to them, I said, think to why I had to do that. Think about it. Why did I have to come across that way? You know? Because if I come on there and be like, hello, boys. Hello, I'm Miss A. You'll be thinking, who's this girl? Like, we're gonna twang her. We're gonna get her to bring stuff in.
And they're watching you from the moment you walk in, from the time you start your training, before you even go for training, they are watching. They know your first day before you. They'll recall you your first day before,
and they tell you that we've been watching. You know, but I think for me, I didn't find it hard at all because I knew that I had to set boundaries straight, and I knew that with time they will end up warming up to me based on my personality and my character anyways. And generally the favour of God.
Amen.
Like I can't miss why knows. Like there was not a day where you'd enter my car and we wouldn't pray. Like prayer kept me. God kept me.
We'll be driving on the way. This girl is speaking in tongues, on the app.
If the Holy Spirit is active, I'ma listen.
Listen, I'm literally looking at. I'm closing my eyes. I'm Yanda Santa Ya Baba.
Yeah.
But I'm looking. I'm just like, hey, sister.
Yeah.
We need to get to our destination. But honestly, I would say those drives and just covering ourselves with the blood of Jesus and setting the atmosphere.
It definitely helps.
And like, listen, God was stepping into these grounds. You walk before us, and you be the mouthpiece. And I feel like that was so vital. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whatever we went through in the prison service, God actually had us. And I can literally see like God's, like, for us not get assaulted, the amount of things that we've seen, the amount of things that we've heard, the amount of things that we've witnessed, like it could have been any one of us.
Most definitely. 100%.
It could have been any one of us. And it's for the favour of God to actually be upon us and actually be like, we did not leave with no scratch, no injuries, no life-threatening injuries. That's only God.
I'm telling you.
It's only God.
And I don't say this lightly neither. Like, I remember like one of my prayers also every single day was, God, give me the confidence, give me the confidence, give me the confidence. Because there'll be days where I would go in, I could be dealing with my own things, you know, in my life. And knowing that I have to be in a prison service. But to be fair though, and I respect my boys on my wing for that, there will be days where I'll come in and I'm just not up to it. Like, and they will know. They'll be like, oh, Miss A, you're right. I'm not going to tell them my life, so I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you today, guys. I'm not with it today.
They literally watch. They will know. Like, even they will be like with me. Like, when I wasn't in a good mood, they will just know, like, Miss Y, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, they watch you to know 100%. when you're up, you're up. Like, it's all happy days. But when you're not,
they know that.
And I feel like what I loved, like, I literally found favour in unlikely places, especially in my wing where the staff would give me a hard time. They'll be like, you know what? Let's show these officers, these white officers, that we will literally bang up. We will literally do that because we don't want to see her struggle.
Respect as well.
Like, it's just like she speaks to us nicely. She doesn't give us a hard time. She's actually fair. She's actually a decent person. So why are we gonna try and make her life in the prison service? Let's literally. I remember there was one time they left me they thought they would set me up and make me bang up a whole wing, like it was the hardest spur as well to bang up at the time. And I remember they were just like, the one of the boys that like ran the wing was like, yeah guys, everybody went, and all I had to do was shut the doors, and everybody was just so like, how the heck even the best officers can't even do it at that time. And that's when but that for me personally, that was just the hand of God just showing him like, I got you, and you can do this, and you were made for this. So in terms of prisoners, how did you deal with seeing prisoners that you knew?
That was a very heavy sigh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I felt that I always had to mentally prepare myself, prepare my reactions. And with working on an induction wing, I get to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
First thing I will do, I'll come in, look on our board and see whether I recognize any familiar surnames as such. but I wasn't really scared. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't scared. I knew how to go about it. Like, first thing I do, I'm covering my own ass and IRing it. Like, this prisoner, conflict of interest, really. This prisoner, I know of whether we went to the same school, whether we're from the same area, whether they know people that I know, etc. And I've never really had any threats within our prison apart from one person who was there where I had to IR it. And I had to speak to security and say, it's either you get this guy out of our prison or something's going to happen to me. Lo and behold, thankfully, security actually listened to me, got him shipped out the next day. Because, and prior to, he wasn't on my wing, but I'd seen him on your wing.
Yeah.
When I came to see you, I'd seen him on your wing. And he saw me and I saw him. And it's not a thing where I've got an issue with him directly. It's based on the people that I know that he's got issues with.
Affiliations.
And he disclosed where I was from to one of your prisoners.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. But you know what's so funny? Yeah, it took me a long time to actually realize who that was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It took me a long. I feel like there's a lot of people that I knew of that I saw, but I didn't feel like you don't know me. So it's just like.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
It's just like I was fine being with him on the wing because literally until you said something, I literally did not know.
But if I worked on your wing, it would have been a different story. Yeah. He would have recognized me. He would have approached me.
And I feel like because we called people by their last name, I didn't really look at people's first names unless I'm looking them up or writing on their nomis or whatever. So when I looked at his first name, I was like, oh
yeah.
It's him. Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, I was like, I don't know. But I feel like, integrity is everything, to be fair. Just IR it, because you just never know.
You just never know.
You just never know.
You just don't know. That's the truth of it. So I was always prepared, in other words.
Yeah.
Like seeing someone I would recognize or I know.
Yeah. Right. So our next segment we're going to be talking about is corruption. Right. You started with somebody that we both were very fond of.
Oh, gosh.
And we loved her. Like, literally, we got on with her. Like, fought her corner. When she went through whatever she went through. How did you? First of all, I remember. I don't know if we were together. I think we were together when we found out together.
I think I found out earlier because it was my house block. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And then I told you what I'd been hearing with no confirmation that it was actually what it was.
And then someone confirmed. Somebody reliable source confirmed it
to both of us.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. How did you feel like being like you have a good rapport? You're fond with somebody. You're working with somebody. You started with somebody. You feel like you kind of get to know somebody pretty well. Like, how did you feel?
I'm not gonna lie, it's very disappointing, and it actually hurt me. It hurt me a lot. It hurt me so much because of the fact that I also knew what was going on in her life, in terms of like her family dimensions and stuff. And you know, there's so much support that you can offer to somebody.
Yeah.
There's so much that they're willing to disclose to you as well. Yeah. So although she was telling me the genesis of what was going on between herself and like her family dimensions, there may have been more to it. So when this first started coming around, I thought, everyone needs to calm down.
Calm down, like relax. This can't be. Like, I was in disbelief. Even when we got the confirmation, I was like,
I was still in very much disbelief, to be fair. And I did contact her. I remember when we was driving, I contacted her and I spoke to her. And even the way she was answering the questions and the way she was questioning me, like, where did you hear this from? Or so-and-so this, so-and-so that. I thought, oh gosh, like, I can't believe it. And she was so young as well. And this is the thing, like, to anyone out there that's looking to be in a prison officer or are in the prison service itself and a young black woman themselves, just be very, very careful. Like, stand firm, you know, because not only prisoners are going to try and get you, but staff are going to try and get you easily. Yeah. Because the way staff were speaking about her, you would never think that they had her back. It's almost like they were waiting for something to happen. Which was very scary for me because I was working with these people as well. Yeah. You know?
So it's just like, how, like, did you not have an inkling or a suspicion?
Absolutely no way. No, but then remember as well, I didn't work with her.
Yeah.
We wasn't
you
on
was
the
on
same
this
spur. I was on my spur, she
Yeah.
was on her spur.
Yeah.
I didn't work with her.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see it, like,
live first
I
hand.
didn't get to see it
Yeah.
at all, other than hearing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was,
Honestly,
it's
that was
awful.
devastating.
I'm not gonna lie, it's awful, and it's so scary
That was
because it
devastating.
just changes how you view the person.
Yeah.
Like, what's made you do that? Especially,
Why?
like,
It's
why?
like that,
Oh,
bro, and it's just like you already know, and she went through like a racial incident, and we're just like, you already know how they view us,
yeah.
and for you to just that literally basically prove them right.
You played into that
Like
game.
you play them into you literally the palms that they want us to be corrupt. They see it, but like, and I feel like up like your cohort, literally that's when we saw an influx of like BAME ethnic
Oh yeah, there was a
minorities
few of us.
coming in. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously it was nice to see, but then it kind of got me nervous because I was like, listen, my first 6 months here has been hell. But like just seeing her, like obviously she's so young, like, you just wanna, so you basically take her under your wing because it's like, she was having a hard time. Like sometimes she will cry. Like I'm like, I'm here for you. You've got this. You're not alone. Like we're building a type of sisterhood kind of thing. So for that to just happen, I was
devastated. I was absolutely, like, I'm not even joking. I was actually devastated. I was very upset. Very upset.
Honestly. Right. But on that note, apart from her, do you feel like at any point in your career, your 3 years of career, that you're working with corrupt people on your wing?
I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if I can. In short, say yeah. But that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay.
But definitely.
Okay, but let's see if we can answer this. What are just in general? This is not about particular to your wing, but just from what you've observed. What are the questionable things that prison officers would do that would make you think like, why are you doing that? That will make you think like you see for you to go to the point where you're IRing somebody. Ooh. A prison officer. Like, what is an example of what somebody would do that would make you think like
going into the cleaning product room with prisoners and being there, just you two for a long while, getting hugged by prisoners. Prisoners, like, no, like I wouldn't say knowing your first name because it's very easy for a prisoner to find out your first name, especially if you've got key workers on that wing. Yeah. But like always wanting to be with a specific group, even when you don't work on my spur, you're leaving your spur to come to my spur to stay with my prisoners. Yeah. Back to back. Don't get me wrong. You can speak to prisoners, of course. Yeah. Build report, but to leave your spur to go onto my spur
and to stay on your spur,
to stay on my spur without telling me, or being by a specific cell, going into a cell, to me, you're moving a bit sus. Like, why is it the same group of people?
What I would say is always tell whoever if I'm going into somebody's spur, I'm saying, hello, who's working on this spur? I'm going on to this person to speak to this, to so-and-so person.
Because if anything was to happen to you,
you would know.
Who would know?
And people don't think about that.
But staff looked at it as, well, if I tell you, then you might IR me as to why I'm on your spur. But that's actually not the case.
It's transparency. At the end of the day, I have nothing to hide.
Because if it comes down to general alarm and we all have to leave the spur,
and
you're still on my spur, we're trying to, my SO's asking, oh, where's this person? Well, I don't know, I haven't seen this person. All of a sudden you leave my spur. We're all going to look at it like, where was you? And why was you on that spur if you don't work on that spur? And you didn't let the spur staff know that you was on that spur as well. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, you know? Yeah, that was, yeah. I think throughout the convo, you will realise that corrupt staff are there, live and coloured. They make their presence known. Like, I remember one day, in the office room, I just got fed up. And that everyone was in the office and I said, whoever is in this room and you're corrupt, I'm going to find
You
you.
have to stern warnings that you have to give them.
I had to make it very clear. I said, I'm going to find
it's getting
you.
too much.
Because it was getting too much for me.
Yeah.
Like the phones, the drugs, it was getting too much. Everyone was in that office and I said, whoever you are in this room, I'm going to find you. Mark my words. And everyone's looking at me like, and I was like,
It's go on like what?
It's too much.
Literally.
I'm sorry, it's too much. It's too much. And yeah.
And I feel like what people don't realize is that you're actually putting our lives at risk. Like, you bringing in the drugs, you bringing in that people are getting beaten up in their cells, people having general alarms, bills are going left, people are getting slapped, and then we're collateral damage because of you.
Yeah, because of you. Or I'll see my face on TikTok. Not that it's there. God forbid I repeat that in the name of Jesus. Because of you.
Because of you.
And I have to remain professional and not retaliate.
Like, is that sometimes it's that why? And on the back of that, like, what is it with, because there's a notion that female prison officers are more prone to being corrupted by prisoners. Why do you think that is? Or why do you feel like in the prison that we worked in, certain female prison officers love the attention of the male?
It's either they don't get attention on the outside, or they lack confidence, or they are scared to challenge prisoners. So they'll be basically favouring them. Like, everything you asked, you will get, sort of thing. There was no boundaries.
Yes, man.
Yeah. And as well, remember, we work in a male prison. The prisoners and the male staff, their relationship was always very hard.
Yeah.
But with us female, they will look at us like, oh, well, Miss will understand, or Miss is caring. Women are quite nurturing.
Yeah.
Use that to their advantage, really, didn't they? But I think that's why. But also, remember, it's the young officers. It's the young officers.
So do you think that what age would you say? Because we started when we were like 23.
Yeah, we were fairly young. We were fairly
young, but then there were younger people. There were 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Like, those people out of college joining the prison.
The thing
service.
is, I don't want to say anything and then discourage anyone from going into the prison service at a young age, because everyone's life is different.
Yeah.
But know what you're doing. Know what you're getting yourself into. Know the kind of people you're going to be around.
Because sometimes I will question it, because do you know when people enter the prison service, obviously you can never be prepared with what you're going to see inside, but sometimes you look at certain people and say, what did you actually think this was going to be?
Why are you here?
Like, what did you actually think this was going to be? Like, huh? Like, huh? And that's not only for young stuff. I feel like prison officers in general, I'll look at you and be like, why did you think that this?
Do you know what really used to baffle me? What? The staff that hated interacting with prisoners. Sorry, sir or miss. What did you think this job was going to be? Did you think you're just going to come and unlock doors and then bang up?
It was given, I hate prisoners, I hate black people, I hate certain types of prisoners that spoke a type of way. Is this like I
wouldn't even say not just black people, but I just don't understand the purpose of my role. Because if you come, I used to see staff get angry when prison used to ask them questions. Like,
but I feel like for me, just in my wing, what the term that they used to use is gang, or these gang people, and I just used to hate that. And for me, it just is that we can't relate to you because
so your wing was different to my wing.
Yeah, you look a certain type of way, or you speak in a certain type of way. So it wasn't a thing where they wouldn't talk to prisoners, but what I observed, and this is just my personal opinion, that they'll avoid speaking to certain types of prisoners, and every time they will address those prisoners, it will end up being a fight. They will never address them and have a conversation. It will turn into a general alarm.
There's no such thing as conversations with them.
Yeah, it will literally turn into a general alarm. Like, you're provoking somebody to get a reaction out of them.
I'm just thinking about one person I used to work with that was like that.
I think I know who you're talking about.
It was unreal, and it made it so hard working on that wing with that person, because prisons would be like, Miss A, I can't do anymore. I can't do anymore. Like, he's pushing me. And I used to see it. And I'd be like, and I remember I used to be like, why are you doing that? Yeah. Like, I wouldn't challenge him in front of the prisoners.
But privately.
I'd take him off. I'd go and be like, why are you doing that? Like, just let it be, you know,
Yeah.
let it be. Like, they're not even doing anything crazy. Like, just
Yeah.
let it be, you know. Stop provoking them. Stop pushing them. Because if anything was to happen, I'm gonna have to back you. I'll be pissed off because it could have been prevented.
Yeah, and I feel like that is the thing. I just feel like a lot of them, I don't know, is that we were basically like their protection, because more times, like, we would de-escalate the situation, because if you or I weren't there or weren't present, they would have got slapped in the face. But because they
100%.
know that you're working on that wing and you have to deal with the aftermath, some of them, the ones that had sense, or they haven't been pushed to the point where they're seeing red, they'll use their sense and just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
And remember, there was a saying that we always used to say. We used to say, like, listen, they're throwing cheese. Don't be mice and bite into the bait. Like, I literally used to say, we used to say that to them all the time, like, and told them on the levels that me, I didn't care. I told them, like, listen, at the end of the day, you are going to be provoked, but are you going to bite into that?
Yeah. I literally used to tell my boys, you're literally playing to their game. And it's so sad watching you do that, because you're so much better than that. Like, and I feel like for me, and this is where I was able to really build a good rapport with them, because I was able to tell them what it was. Like, with me, then you, Miss A, would tell me for what it is. Like, I would tell you the truth. I would tell you, if you're doing too much, I'll tell you you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, where's your attitude from?
Yeah.
Drop your attitude.
Yeah.
Because if you don't drop your attitude, you will get dropped.
Yeah. Simple as.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Period.
No lies. That is just what it is. Drop your attitude, or else you get dropped, or you get moved off the wing.
Yeah.
And believe me, we will move you off.
Yeah. Guys, I know we're using a lot of prison lingo, but getting dropped means being restrained.
Yeah, being
basically.
restrained,
Yeah, because I feel like I don't want to
confuse anyone. Yeah,
like,
getting dropped
like,
means you're getting restrained. Like, you're getting put down.
Yeah. And I feel like they weren't used to that, but it's like, at the end of the day, like, I used to reiterate to them, if it comes to the point where a staff member has to restrain you, I can't stand there and be like, no, sorry, I'm not restraining you. Like, you can't do that. We're joining them. Even if I feel like, and the sad thing is that majority of the times it actually can be de-escalated, but once that point of physical contact has been made, it's game time. There's no.
Once that we push,
that's it. That's it.
Pushing yourself, and then the prisoner comes marching to you.
Yeah,
you're getting dropped.
You're getting dropped, and that's it. And that's that. And yeah, I don't know. Like, that was very interesting.
I think it was definitely so important to know the kind of person you're working with.
Yeah. Well, do you know, sometimes when you look at the board and just see who you're working, you're just like, yep, today it's gonna be a general alarm.
To be fair, my SO, she knows me. She knows that when I'm on my spur, I'm running my spur for what it is. So if you're gonna bring me someone that's rubbish, make sure it's someone that's rubbish and that will listen.
Remember when I'll be day tripping on another person, then you go and tell your SO,
and then you end up being on my spur.
Yeah, and we'll run the wing together.
Yeah, and the boys, like, they liked it, because Miss A's with her sister, man.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the two sisters, the double trouble. But they never took the piss out of you. They're still banged up when you told them to bang up, you know. And I respected them for that.
Yeah, I feel like it's my approach as well. So it's just like, at the end of the day, I feel like even like, as we said earlier, when you day trip to any wing and you carry a certain presence about you, like, even when they're like, you don't know the prisoners, or you may not know where their cell are, like, I will start just closing doors.
Yeah,
you're just locking doors.
Like, Miss, I beg you, open my door. Oh, where was you?
Where was you? Okay, in you go then.
Yeah. And
I feel like when you stand on business, like, you mean what you say, and you're looking at them like, okay, so go then.
Yeah.
They're looking at like,
I think I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but, like, there's a balance, isn't there? You don't want to come across too much, because remember, you don't know these prisoners. You could talk to your prisoners like that, because they know that you don't mean it in any like any way, any malicious way as such, or any way that you want to provoke them. When you go to another wing, you read the room. And I want to ask you a question. How did you find...
No, because the table.
You know, like, just so I understand, how did you find going to another wing and having to make your boundaries and your presence known to them without feeling like this could end up in any way?
Do you know what? Yeah, I feel like because the prisoners, they rotate a lot, so there was bound to be one prisoner on that wing.
Yeah.
Made like impossible for me on paper on my early days when I didn't know anybody.
Of course,
when you're day tripping, but usually they will put me with somebody that is well respected, and I just feel like you just need to be confident. I feel like when I was on the wing, I feel like personally, everybody, even when the prisoners will come from hospital, they'll be like, "Nah, your sister's nicer," and I'm just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
like okay."
That is, I used to get that
She
all
used to
the
get
time.
complaints. Oh,
Your
sister,
sister's rude,
your
man.
sister's rude.
Your
Okay,
sister's rude. You're nicer. You're this. You're that. You're this. You're that.
Your sister's, but for me, I just feel like because of what I experienced and
That's
the
the thing. It's
trauma,
different.
like I feel like we had very different starting
Oh yeah, we did.
experience, and we had different staff members.
Yeah.
So my back was always up.
I think our
against the
experience
wall.
within the prison service is
Yeah,
completely different.
completely different.
Like yours, you wouldn't even believe that I worked in the same prison.
Yeah, like it's
That's how I
literally-
view it.
Yeah, and then I just feel like you were lucky. To be fair, you were lucky with the type of people that you worked with. Like although there were some odd characters,
Of course.
like you genuinely had a good team.
I did.
Whereas I feel like in the beginning when I was in House Block 1, like I had a terrible team. Like I was literally up against the wall fighting for my life. So I had no choice. There was no time to be nice. There was no time unless you knew me like that. Like the only time that people would, I would say, like soften is that, oh nah, she actually does it. Like all the things when you have to do to say cell clearance, property, canteen, contacting OMU, like building,
finding out if you got decal or not,
like finding out all this, or talking for them to do your OMU report. And for me, what I found that was important was building rapport with different members of staff within the prison service, not only prison officers, and it made my job easier. So even if I was to go onto another wing, I was able to do the rubbish jobs that prison officers that worked on that wing regularly didn't want to do. Yeah. So I could go, I was the extra pair of hands, so I could go off to reception, or I can go off and do this. And they'll be like, oh, like, she's actually cool. Okay.
And they'll remember you.
Yeah, and they'll remember
one thing I always say, and the one thing I remember them drilling into me is prisoners will never forget.
Yeah.
If you say you will do something and you don't do it, they will never forget. And if you end up doing it, they will always remember you for being the person that does it.
Yeah. And they'll be like, nah, your pattern still, like, literally, even for the simple things when it came to, like, mattresses, like, like, mate, I literally, I would literally go and get, because usually there will be a rule saying, no, you can only get it at a certain point. But I'll call up stores and be like, do you have any mattresses? And then I'll be like, can I get it now? Just get the prisoner up, make sure that there's no security alerts.
Yeah.
Let's go and get your
ideally
mattress.
CIO, of course.
Let's go and get your mattress. And then they see them walking with it, like, how did you get that? Miss Wire Patton. I've been waiting for months.
Okay, you've not asked me though.
I've been waiting for months. Yeah. And this person's been told. I was like, well, you didn't ask me, innit? So obviously when they see you, like, you're actually patterning and proactive, and you're not lazy, you're actually doing things. Like, what? Because really and truly in the prison service, what can you do for me? That is what they actually want to know. How are you making my life easier? And I feel like when you're able to make their life easier, just simple things, like, for example, when somebody's on a visit, making sure that their food isn't taken, making sure their food is in their cell and they don't come back. Because more times it's just the little things, because that may be their only meal.
It's true.
And they'll come back and be like, you know what, thank you, because yesterday when I went on the visit, there was no food for me.
Or even, for example, when they know they shouldn't be coming off of their vapes, and oh, Missy, I beg you put in my cell for me. And you put in a bag, you put in a cell. And that's that. Or I'll give it to you when you come back. When you come back, from your visit.
Or it's a simple thing where you see that they've done something good. One thing that used to annoy me is when they would ask me for positives. I like to observe. Like, for me, I'm like, I'll give you a negative. Don't do that.
Do you know what's so funny? And the reason why I'm laughing is because if any of my old prisoners who are out, not in the prison, and end up coming across this, they will literally laugh at the fact that if you ask me for a positive, I will give you a negative.
Literally.
Because I used to be like, why are you begging for it? That's not begging for a positive. I used to joke around and be like, stop begging for a positive. Like, stop fishing for it.
That's not your brand. Like, stop it.
Yeah, like, it's so off brand. Like, ew, that's so cheap.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, like, because I knew the prisoners that wanted to get something, either a job or go for their DCAT, or whether it will look good for their OMU and stuff like that. When they used to ask, well, Miss, I beg you give me a positive. What for?
Yeah, what have you done?
I want a job, man. Oh, you can wait.
Yeah.
Like, stop begging for it. But the ones that are like, Miss A, like, can you just please put a positive on my NOMES, for my OMU, because I'm trying to go for my DCAT. Yeah. And I'll be like, do you know what? I'll do it in my own time. Yeah. Because I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that I've got a reason to do it. If I just met you 2 weeks ago and you was ready, I don't know you, so I'm not gonna put anything there. other than me putting, he listens to normal instructions.
Yeah, why should I give you a positive for doing the bare minimum, for doing what you're supposed to do? Like, you're telling me, oh, miss, I banged up on time. That's what you're supposed to do.
Drive me crazy.
That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bang up. Like, huh?
That used to drive me
Make it make sense. Make it make
Miss A,
sense.
I cleaned up, you know. Well, I'm not gonna clean up for you, so good you cleaned up.
Personal hygiene is important, so
oh gosh, honestly, yeah.
But I feel like what they used to like for me, I used to like because it's easy to give out a negative to somebody that's always so rowdy easy. And somebody, but I feel like the people that actually just did they would actually, you would never hear nothing from them. They will actually go, like, I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a positive. 100%. I'll go up to them, say I gave you a positive, and they'll be like, really, like, and I'm like, yeah, because at the end of the day, like, you actually don't bother anybody. Like, although like people are saying that that's what you're supposed to do, but I'm just like, when you see consistent good behavior, it goes a long way.
We're not talking weeks.
We're
talking months,
years of good behavior.
Yeah, I agree.
Good behavior.
I agree.
Like, honestly, and you're trying to get out, you're trying to get your DCAT. I'm like, I'll even go as far as finding out who your OMU is
and contacting them. That's what I used to
being their friend. I will sit with them.
Same.
How many friends I made just by talking to them? I'll be like, you know what? Like, how, and OMU really and truly, they have 100 people on their case, so they don't. OMU was that gold, man. When they came onto the wing, everybody wanted to talk to the OMU worker. So you having that personal rapport with the OMU and be like, you know what, I'll teams them. I'll go down to the office, and they don't know them, so they're trusting your word because they're cool with you. And they're like, how is this prisoner like? So they're able to build a picture up of that prisoner, and because of you now they've gotten their DCAT. And that was majority of the cases. That was the case. A lot of them didn't notice. Like, they would literally say to me like Miss White, I don't know what to write about this person because I haven't had the time to see them. They were overworked.
And I think like one thing as well that I remember that really brought warmth to my heart genuinely was like when I got given the guys that would be key working, you know, I had a few on my wing, of course. And the ones on my wing ended up getting a DCAT, just saying, putting that out there, period. Because I had very good rapport with OMU lot. And I remember a lot of the guys used to be like, oh, like, how do I change my key worker to get you, Miss A? And I was very privileged. I was like, oh, that's really kind of you to believe that I could help you. So I feel that, like you said, like building that rapport with OMU and the prisons actually knowing that, because not all staff build rapport with OMU.
Not
staff. Some
people
staff
don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
The reality of it.
And I feel like that's why a lot of guys would request for us to be their key workers. Oh, like, I beg you, be my key worker. How do I get you to be my key worker? Because they know that we care, and they know that we've also we are able to make life easier because we've got rapport with OMU, so we can speak to OMU, find out the realness of it, and how we can help them and such. Prisoners. The boys.
Honestly, like, sometimes I'm just like, raw, man. Like,
I've met some interesting people,
we've met some interesting people, but I'm proud of us because we actually did I feel like as much as whatever
we made a difference.
We made a difference.
100%.
We've sown some seeds. Like, you know, when prisoners will come back and find you to say thank you before they're getting released.
Yes.
Like, I could cry.
Same.
I could cry.
Same.
When they say bye and they say, like, miss, thank you, like, I couldn't have done this without you.
And do you know what's so sad? Because I literally say to them, like, that's my job. That's why I'm here for.
But I feel like it's so sad because it's so uncommon for people to care like
but why is that?
Because people don't join the prison service to rehabilitate. They don't mean the mission statement of His Majesty's Prison and Probation Services. That they don't care, and that we worked with people that didn't give a heck.
It's true.
And I feel like I don't know. For me, anyways, I can only speak for myself. Like, I just feel like the way I knew they viewed, especially like people from ethnic minorities, I just wanted them to be perceived in a different light. And I feel like, although I couldn't change the way that they viewed them, I feel like I could help them present themselves better or navigate through situations or challenging situations in a different way. So for me, that was just the cherry on top. Just seeing them go to their DCAT, get released, and just generally some people that you know that they're never coming back. Some people you know, they
might be back.
But there's certain people that you know what.
Like, it got to a point. I remember one of my boys, when he got DCAT, And obviously, because we get a list, innit?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, he's got his DCAT now. So I remember I was like, I'm gonna break the news to him.
Yeah.
I went to his cell, and like I'm a very like I'm a clown basically. Like I'm very jokey, and can I swear on this? I used to be like, I remember I said, morning fucker, you're going today. Like, see you later. I'm so happy my job is done with you, basically. And I remember I used to know his daughter's names because he'd go and visit, like, for their visit, it would always be his daughters. And I'd be like, make sure you look after those girls when you come out. Like, make sure you remember why you want to leave. Don't leave and then think, oh, well, I've seen my girls and I've given them the money. I'm going to come back because there's more to life. I had a lot of dads on my wing. And I always, and I know, and it's so sad because I know how hard it was for them, and I'm sure you can relate as well. Like when they would tell you, like, Miss A, you know, the mother of my child, the mother of my kids is stopping me from speaking to them or seeing them. So it used to actually hurt me.
So going through the case as well as family court, like when they have to do the video link and attend family court because you're fighting for custody in prison for your children.
It's not easy.
And this is why I'll stand, like, big up you guys, like big up the dads that are actually inside that actually give a heck about their children, because there's a lot of people that are free, that don't give a heck about their children, and then there's actually fathers that are locked up, incarcerated,
doing everything they
can to have access to their children, and I feel like that is commendable. And don't give up, honestly, don't give up. Another question that I wanted to ask you, was there any time that you felt conflicted with being a prison officer and a black female? Did you feel like there was contention?
To a certain degree. To a certain degree. I'd say like that feeling of being watched. It was never easy for me. And like when I first started, I remember I was getting watched. IOs were being put in against me, and I was aware about that. I was being watched for speaking to my black prisoners, the boys, on the 2s or the 3s. It's not like I'm in the cell. I'm literally in the open area.
Yeah,
you can see me.
And
I feel like being watched, and also being questioned. As to why I'm here. And I feel like there's a way of asking such a question.
And when they're asking why you here, is it by staff or prisoners?
Well, prisoners standard will always ask me.
When they'll say that, I'll be like, why shouldn't I be here? Like, honestly, like when they used to ask me that, I'm just like, why shouldn't I be here?
I used to say to them, there's a bigger picture to all of this, by the way. And they'll be like, oh, no, I respect that. Like, they'll be like, no, I rate that. You're not just here for the money. I was like, do you think the money's great or something?
Honestly.
But I feel like
I'll be risking my life.
Yeah, being questioned by staff as to why I'm here. Because who are you to question me as to why I'm here?
Yeah, why are you here?
Why are you here? To make money from prisoners because you want to be corrupt? Or like, what is it? And I feel like how they would ask me is like, oh, Miss A, why are you here? Why did you want to join the prison service? Like, what? That's what I'm just saying. There's a way to asking. How they were asking me was like, are you here to bring drugs? Are you here to make money with the prisoners? Like, that's how I was perceiving it.
What about the senior manager? There was a certain SO that made a comment about you.
Can't remember.
Certain SO that was my SO. And he made a comment. I can't remember.
I genuinely can't remember.
Wait, hold on. He said something that pissed you off.
What did he say?
He said something that pissed you off.
Oh, I remember. Conflict of interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a guy that I recognized on my wing in induction, and I remember saying, I need this guy moved off because he's from my area. Like literally from my area. I know his mum. I've known him since he was a little boy. Because his mum was a teacher. And I told my SO about it. He wasn't my SO, but he was day tripping. So what I mean by day tripping was my actual senior officer was not on, so they had to get another senior officer to come and run the wing basically with the staff. And he said to me, he goes, how can you be new in the prison service and already have conflict of interest? I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sorry, John. What? Sorry. And in all fairness, I didn't hear that comment. Other staff heard it and they challenged him, which I was thankful about. And they came and told me. And from that day to the end of my career in the prison service, we was never okay. And I felt like he felt very uneasy even speaking to me.
You,
He felt very
as you
uneasy,
should.
very uneasy. Because who are you to? How can you say as a new member of staff? How do you already have conflict of interest? I'm sorry, I don't live in a village, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm not in Kent.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
I'm sorry that I don't need to walk through Oxford Circus to get to school. I'm sorry, but like, do you get what I mean? Be for real. So, in a nutshell, some people just don't think before they speak. Like, that's the realness of it.
Yeah, man. Honestly, being a black, I just feel like there was so much conflict because I just feel like sometimes it's like when they'll be in certain situations, I'll be like, it actually doesn't have to go down like this.
Not at all.
We are here. Here
Yeah.
we go. Like,
Yeah.
we're here. We're here now, so let's get on with it. And you just know that. And then you go back after the whole situation is done and everyone's calmed down. You go back to the cell and speak to that Z prisoner and be like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think how you reacted was correct? But miss, don't tell me about what the officer did. How you, because you at the end of the day, you're in control about how you respond to certain situations. And I feel like sometimes it's hard because it's like you know that the officer's trying to provoke.
Oh god.
Like you know that they're trying to provoke. You know you're being an aggravator. Today you have targets and you want to target them.
And do you know what's so crazy that and I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, like as you're saying this, I'm replaying situation where like we need to get this guy off.
Yeah.
We need to, there was comments where staff would be like, we need to do everything we can to get him dropped and off our wing.
Yeah. Like,
how crazy!
It was all a game to these officers.
It was a game.
It was all a game.
Crazy. And don't get me wrong, the prisoners that we're talking about, they weren't the best. Yeah, I get that. But to come into work, go through the board and be like, we need to drop this person, we can get them off the wing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to me. It's very crazy. Very insane. Yeah, I feel like that, as you said, that our journeys were very different. Like, although like you experienced getting watched, like the typical things that you would go through as a prison officer, anyways, as a female prison officer, let alone a black female prison officer. I went through hell, like, and without going into too much details of everything. So like the infamous day of when everything happened, if you can describe June the 27th, 2023 in 3 words, what would it be?
Heartbreaking. I feel like I'm gonna get emotional.
Girl.
Wow. I actually feel like I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh, girl, don't cry.
Heartbreaking. Traumatic, and I've actually got tears in my eyes.
Oh my god, don't cry. Please don't set me off. I'm smiling so hard because I don't want to cry. I feel like I've cried for England.
I think my last word would be heartbreaking.
You said heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, traumatic, and sad.
And from your point of view, because you were there live, like, how was it seeing me go through something like that and knowing me for so long and just literally having to watch me go through that and there's nothing that you can do about it?
That's the thing. I felt so helpless. It was so hard because I didn't meet you in a prison. I've known you since primary school, and I know you. I have a very clear judgment of you because I know you. I genuinely know you. Like, I know you. I know what you've gone through. I know family dimensions. I know how you've been brought up. I know what goes on in the house. I know you. I know French. I know you. I know you. And to be in a play, and I think it's like the first time we're really just speaking about it properly, aren't we? To be in a workplace whereby people are talking about somebody in such a way, and you're the only person that truly knows them. You're the only person that can actually defend them, but yet your voice sounds so low because everyone is so loud. There's a number of them against one. I'm the only one that knows you. And I feel like I definitely I think I told you that I found it very hard because it's so hard, because it's like their judgment can't change how I think or what I think of you, because I know you. But it got to a point where it was becoming so loud and it was getting so hard for me. It was becoming so hard. It got too much for me. Like, genuinely got too much for me, that I was even in psychotherapy at the time, and I brought it to my counselor. And I was like, I said it to my therapist, I said, I can't deal with it. Like, it's tearing me down to hearing people speak about my friend like that, because it's like, I know her. I know that she will never do that, but their voices are so loud and my voice sounds so low in my own world. And it was heartbreaking for me. Like, it was hurting me, because it's like so many different stories. So many different stories.
Guys, read the book if you want to.
Like, literally, that's literally all I'm going to say. There was so many different stories. And in a nutshell, when you guys read the book, you would understand why I'm saying I feel very emotional, because myself and Miss Y have never actually, we've spoken about it, we've never really sat down like this for me to get emotional and talk about it, because I was that friend where when you decided to come back, the first day back was very hard for you, and you cried, and I said to you, you need to stop crying right now, stop crying, and we had to leave. You know, we went back to another colleague's house. I didn't know what to do.
Even that though, I feel like that is literally. I don't even think I mentioned that in the book, dude. That's actually wow. This is how you know this thing was like such a blackout. Like, I actually didn't mention that in the book. Like,
your first day back.
No, like, because obviously we have I don't want to talk too much about it, but when I actually come back for real, for real, like, dealing with the mental toll that it actually had on me, and I feel like it was not out of nowhere, but I just started, like, I just bugged out.
Yeah, you did.
Like, I literally bugged out, and I just don't feel like you were ready for that, and you didn't know how to take it, and I feel like you were very, like, I feel like that's when it kind of, not that it didn't hit you that it was affecting me, but I feel like because you were going through whatever you were going through, like, it was that you were kind of not like we didn't really speak about the situation after it was
No, because I didn't also want to bring it up.
Yeah. So, like, you seeing me and, like, literally just break down and literally be broken in such a way.
I think that's the worst I've ever seen.
Like, to the point that I had to, like, leave, and I had to go. Like, I couldn't be trusted.
You was this close to having a panic attack.
Like, I can't even explain that, but, like, honestly, like, on that day, like, I don't know, you didn't even tell me not to cry. You hugged me.
I did hug you. I think I told you not to cry in the house.
You didn't. To be fair, that is a reaction that I didn't think I was gonna get from you. Like, because usually you're very hard, very militant. So the fact that you came and hugged me, I was like
I think for me it was like a moment of realizing that my friend is flat. Yeah. Like, you're not sad, you're flat. Like, you're down bad. And it wouldn't be me to not support you at a time where you actually need support. Like, you actually, I feel like I'm getting emotional, but I felt like all you needed was a hug. And that's the only thing I could do at that moment in time. I couldn't scream. I couldn't shout.
Like, to the point that it affected you, and we can talk about this day because it's not in the book, to the point that it affected you that you couldn't even carry on working. Yeah. And they had to send you home because of how affected you were based on my emotions. Like, that day was just crazy to me. And it's just like, wow, like, we actually went through,
goodness, God, I didn't come here to cry, okay? I am a big girl.
Big Miss A, you know, crying on the podcast.
Crying. I feel like it's because, like, and this is what I was saying to you, and it's very big knowing that you went through what you went through, and you're sat here today laughing and smiling because 2 years ago I would have never thought, like, I think for me the scary thing about it was I was scared that you was never going to come out of it. That's me being so real with you. I was so scared, and I didn't know what to do. I genuinely did not know what to do. I thought, I'm scared. Like, even when you'd go home and I'd message you and your message wouldn't go through, I'd go and find your sister on Instagram. I remember I'd messaged another friend. Have you heard from her today? Because I didn't know what to do. I was very scared of what you could potentially do to yourself.
Dark,
you know?
dark times.
So to be here today, by the grace of God, and you're smiling and laughing, and we're able to actually talk about it, relive it, but in a very healthy way. It doesn't click with me. It doesn't click with me, like, genuinely, because if I wouldn't want anyone that's watching this podcast or reading the book to feel how I felt. Like, just look at it this way, guys. You've got a friend that you've grown up with for 18 years of your life, nearly 2 decades. You've gone over a decade. You've known her, and you end up working in the same workplace, and your workplace have put her through hell to a point where her mental health is affected. She can't do the daily things that she will do. You don't see her anymore, but you are still in that workplace. People are still talking about her. People are trying to change your thought. People are questioning you. People are talking about you, and it's coming back to you because they can't come and tell you about it. It's like a big group of people. It's like Freemasons being in a room talking and planning.
Like, honestly, all I can say is, like, even, like, I remember when I first, like, spoke about it, like, when I did my first podcast and spoke, like, I got a bit choked up because I was like, oh my God, that. But I feel like, I don't know, all I can say is thank you, God. Like, I'm not gonna say that I would say I'm like 90% healed. Like, there's some days that it makes me feel, I'm just like, what? Like, how the heck did I come in? But the thing is it's like, listen, what the enemy meant for evil, God will always turn it around for your good. And that is a scripture that I held on to even before this book was a thing, before we're even sitting here. Like I just knew that this is a greater purpose, and that just to round it
up. A purpose was birthed out of your pain.
Yeah, like the purpose, that pain is never wasted. Yeah. And I feel like even from you being a part of my story and being a part of my journey, I'm proud of you. Honestly.
Thanks.
Like, I'm proud of you. And you were the friend that I needed you to be. That at that point where I was low, where I was at, like, I don't feel like I could ever explain where my mind was at that moment of time. But you were, like, at that point, you were just like, I don't need to be stern to you. I need to be her friend, and I need to tell her that I've got her. And yeah, I just can only thank you for that. Honestly. But to round up, guys, I know it's been a long one, but there was just so much to unpack.
Yeah.
What would you say to any Black woman in the prison service or thinking to join the prison service? Like, what words of advice would you give them?
Don't go into the prison service expecting to make a change, because the change will never happen. That's me being so real. The change will never happen. You can come in there with the attitude to wanted to make something different for the prisoners to experience, which is what we did. I don't know if you mentioned in the book when we did our Black History Month with the prisoners and stuff. And set your boundaries. Be open to challenging. And don't complain about a solution.
Yeah.
There's no point complaining. Come into your meetings with other Black staff or Asian staff, BAME staff to be precise. Don't go in that meeting complain, or this person done this person done that. Do something about it. Think about a solution before you come in there complaining, because I feel like that's what everyone does.
Yeah, I feel like in our group, like, we'll sit and talk about the same
over and over. It got boring,
and it's boring.
It got boring.
It's boring, and I feel like even in general, we're having the same conversations. Like, we're having the same conversations. How many times are we going to have the same conversations about the same things, but nothing is actually shifting? Nothing will change unless you change. And I feel like that's just the bottom line. Like, okay, this happened, or this, I went through this, but what are you actually doing about it?
Yeah. And can I also say as well to the Black women in the prison service or looking to join the prison service, don't be judgmental. Like, I know obviously you're going into a prison and they are criminals. Of course, they are criminals, but don't be too judgmental. Don't be too hard. Be open to hearing. let them share their story, because a lot of them just want someone to listen and give them the advice that you want to give them. But other than that, yeah, be confident, be yourself, stand firm in what you believe. If a no is a no.
And what would you say to somebody that's watching this that is at risk of being conditioned by a prisoner, or is basically prisons have them by the chokehold? They're in that techie situation, but they don't want to be in that situation. They know they've done a mistake.
Yeah.
That what would you say to them? Or what advice would you have wanted to give to somebody that's just been approached and they're just contemplating on whether to
do what they're being asked to do? Think about the consequences, man. Is it worth it? Like, is it actually worth it? Is it what, because of like a little 1-2 change? Is it worth it? Your future? You could go to prison. You could go to prison. Is it worth your family knowing about? Is it worth bringing danger to your family? Like, is it worth it? And I feel like a lot of people would end up, falling into the trap. But you don't think about when the minute that you decide that you want to stop, they already know you. Yeah. They've got whatever, they can find you. You're bringing danger to your family's doorstep. Yeah. Is it worth it? No. It's not. So think about the consequence. Think about the danger that you're putting yourself into, and think about your future, man. Yeah. Yeah, think about it. It's just not worth it. And I'm so thankful that no prisoners thought they could condition me. Right. And I'm so thankful that the new prisons that used to come on my wing were warned. They were warned, not Miss A. Not Miss A. Not Miss A. Not me. You could never. Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to the prison service. Yeah. For allowing me to experience what I did as a prison officer. Yeah. And I'm thankful for just everything, really. I'm thankful that I was able to go through that, because it really boosted my confidence in myself. I was able to apply it. Life-changing experience. Life-changing indeed, to say the least. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments, drop them down below. Yes. And if there's more topics that you want us to discuss, to delve into, like, mate, who knows? Maybe there might be a surprise ticket to the launch, and you may be able to ask us live. Yes. So the book is dropping now. By the time this drops, I would have announced the book launch date. So the book goes live on Amazon on March the 14th. Woo! Okay. 2025. Period. So guys, get your copy. Make sure, guys, you will not regret it. Like, there's so much untold stories, and I feel like my journey, unfortunately, is not unique. Maybe the incident that I went through was unique, but being a black female prison officer and your day-to-day experiences, it's actually not unique. More people go through it, and it's just now that we're actually speaking up and we're taking on that baton and actually speaking about the experiences, because proud of us. I'm proud of us, because 100%. we have to. Because I feel like it's needed, it's necessary, and there's so much support out there. Yeah, so much support out there, and we can help. Like, honestly, drop a DM, whatever. This is a community at the end of the day, and I feel like that's what I want to build. So at the end of the day, if you're watching this and you feel like you need advice, or you feel you just want to be heard, or you want your story to be heard, drop us a DM. Yeah, understood. Like, so guys, drop a DM, babes. Drop a DM. Drop a DM, babes. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I know this was a long one, but I know it was an interesting and insightful one. And hopefully, I will see you on the next one. Book launch as well. We're gonna party no the stop when we broke. We got a lot to celebrate, man. Make sure, guys, get the book. Seriously, support. Like, listen, just support it and get the book. Because it could start in London and end up going to Manchester. Take me to Harvard University now. Period. And let me go and talk. Like, listen, take me Ministry of Justice, Prisons Reform Trust. All of you guys get at me. Yep. But like, I'm joking, but I'm not joking, because I've been saying these things even when I was writing chapter 1. But honestly, I really am excited for the launch of this book. I just feel like it's just the way I've written the book, like, you'll think I'm talking to you. You're literally
Is that what we're talking on the pod? Like,
Yeah.
you're having a seat at my table. What I was thinking, written in different tenses. You're just like, wow, like this is just crazy. But yeah, guys. Until next time, love you.
Until
guys.
next time, thanks for having me, guys.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, babes.